Hey guys, it's me again, Kika P. And one of our subscribers asked me before about making a video about the slippage tolerance in Stepn. So if you are inside the wallet of Stepn app, you will see when you click trade, you can see a setting before you can convert one token to another that there's a small word there called slippage tolerance. So I'm not sure if all of you are aware about this. Possibly if you've been into cryptocurrency for a while, you know what it means. But for all those who doesn't know or understand how does it affect the conversion or what does it does, then please stick around and I will discuss everything about the slippage tolerance. But as usual, before I proceed, again, please don't be influenced and take all the advices of influencers like me. Don't just follow us because we did this. Always do your own research. This is not a financial advice, and this shall only serve as your guidance. So in this video, this is what you will be expecting. Number one, we will give you a definition of what is a slippage tolerance. Number two, in layman's term, I will give you an example how slippage is happening between when you buy an item. Number three, an example in, again, layman's term, in when you're trying to sell, how slippage affect your transaction. And number three, I will also give you an example how this happens when you buy and sell a specific crypto token. Number four, of course, we will give you an example of the actual Stepn tokens, particularly Sol, but you can also do that with other tokens. I will show you how to calculate the slippage. Number six, I will also discuss other factor that affects the slippage of tokens. And towards the end, I'll give you some few tips on how you can deal with slippage of tokens. So let's start. You know, when you Google slippage tolerance in Google, this is the definition that it will give you. The pricing difference between the price at the confirmation time and the actual price of the transaction users are willing to accept when swapping. Slippage tolerance is set as a percentage of the total swap value. So in short, when you order a crypto, it doesn't always give you that exact amount due to market volatility. Meaning to say, obviously, one token price will not be steady for a long time. We've seen many times that it can change in every second or after a minute, but basically the market is very volatile, so it can change instantly. So the slippage tolerance is that amount that you are willing to accept if after the transaction, the price of the token change. So just to give you a layman or how to understand what's happening when you do a transaction, this one very easy to understand. Let's say you go to the market and you want to buy one apple, and this apple is only $1 each, right? And because of that, you decided to buy 10 apples. So 10 times $1, it will only cost you $10. And then suddenly, I don't know, from somewhere, maybe it could be a fake news. Someone said Apple can now cure COVID, right? So suddenly the Apple price shoot up and it becomes $10. So your 10 apple now is worth $1,000. So that's just a classic, just a made up example of how price difference can be affected by news or other market forces. So let's check the other way around. This is the case when you are buying and the product price increase. How about the other way around? Let's say you have a car, and a very nice car, which you want to sell at $50,000. And then there's again a news that says they need to recall this kind of car because there's some danger in using the airbag or whatsoever inside the engine. And then suddenly the price dropped and it becomes $20,000. So You have lost $30,000 if you had no slippage tolerance. So I hope you're getting now what does market volatility and what does the loss of price that you incur in you if there is no slippage tolerance that you set during the actual order of either buying or selling an item or tokens. So let's go to example number 3 using the actual crypto. Let's say finally you're decided to buy a Bitcoin, you have that money, and then you put a certain money, which when you traded, it will give you exactly 1 Bitcoin. So I don't know, possibly at this, I haven't checked as of the time of this recording, but possibly it's around 30,000 something, right? So you put that money, and when you put on the on the market, and it says, okay, this amount of money is 1 BTC. However, during the actual after the blockchain transaction, it just gave you 0.95 Bitcoin, which means there's a price difference of 5%, 0.05. So meaning to say, if you had set a 5% slippage tolerance by the time that you made the order and by the time it was executed, it means the transaction will proceed because 0.95 is still within the slippage of 5%. But if that becomes low, then it will not happen. It will just give you a failed transaction. And before I forgot, I just want you to know that the transaction fees or gas fees is a separate amount that you need to pay to whoever you're dealing with, whether it's an exchange or it's a DEX or a SEX, so CEX. So yes, you need to take note that you also need to pay extra once the transaction happens. So it's not just the slippage that you need to consider, but also the gas fees or transaction fees. Now, example number 4, let's go to the Stepn app. Let's go to the Stepn app. Say I want to swap 1 Solana to USDC. So when I put 1 Solana, it says the estimate as of when I did this video, it says 49.37414. So that's the expected USDC that I will get if I trade 1 Solana into USDC. However, below that, you have an option to set the slippage tolerance. So let's say, just for the sake of calculation, we put a 1% slippage. So what's 1% of 49.34? So you just multiply 49.37 by 0.01 and it will give you 0.49. So we just rounded it to 2 decimal places to make the example easier to understand. So it means the lowest price that I can get is 48.88. So if that becomes 48.87 or anything lower than that, it means the transaction will not going to happen and I don't need to pay any transaction fees. So you can also change the slippage tolerance. Just click that arrow on the right of 1.0%. So you can put 0.5 if you like, 0.1 if you like, or you can even increase if you really wanted, desperate enough to accept whatever price. But then again, make sure that you calculate first before you click that confirm button. Now, if you put 0 in there, it means whatever is the market price during the time that it will finally approve or the transaction is about to be executed will be the price that it will accept. So again, that's when you put 0. All right, so I hope you're getting now, guys, how to use this slippage tolerance. So what are the other factors that affect slippage tolerance? So this is about the low liquidity. So the best example, if you hadn't heard the AMA last night, someone asked about they saw a big transfer of GMT from the Solana network to the BSC chain. And the developers admitted that it was indeed transferred from the Stepn Solana exchange to provide liquidity to the Binance exchange, BSC network, mainly because there's not enough GMT within the BSC network of Stepn. And again, just a few hours before I had recorded this video, they made that formal announcement that yes, indeed, the reason is because of the low liquidity of GMT inside the BSC chain, meaning to say if someone wants to trade, let's say Solana into GMT within the BSC network of Stepn, it always fails because there's not enough GMT inside the BSC chain. So that's also another factor why slippage is also happening. And another note, please be aware that network congestion is different from slippage. Network congestion is there's a lot of Solana transaction. It could be either in Stepn or other games that use Solana. So if like there's like hundreds of people transacting every second, that's when the network becomes congested. Although in saying that, of course, let's say it happens many times, guys. Maybe you're so aware by now that sometimes it takes hours, sometimes it takes days before you can see, you know, one asset goes to this. But same with transaction. If say at some point in time the price is already different, then so be it. That's the reason why we put the slippage factor, so that we don't know how long, how many minutes before the trade will going to happen. And as you know, it happened to me many times. Whenever I hit the trade, it will fail. It will fail. Even if I put 1%, it will still fail. Well, again, because of the network congestion, the transaction cannot happen because so many are transacting. But you know that it's not because of the slippage, because when you go to the market, coin market cap, you don't know that the volatility is not that much. So this is because, again, of the network congestion, not from the slippage. So that's the difference. Okay, so how do you deal? Here are my 4 tips on how you can deal with slippage. First, you already know, hopefully you already get it by now, how to calculate the slippage, meaning to say that is the total amount that you're willing to sacrifice just in case the price drop. So let's say 1% of say 1,000 is what? $10. So if you're willing to lose $10 if during the transaction, then you can put 1%, right? And so on and so forth. So that way, you know, you are ready. You will not be shocked in case the actual amount that you receive from the trading is different from what you ordered and what you see as the estimated value. Number 2, you can use other exchanges just like Binance, where they have a really huge liquidity pool and they really invested a lot in, you know, they provide staking just for people to provide liquidity pool, so that when millions of transactions is happening, the transaction will still proceed. So yes, because as you know, like BSC, Stepn, the GMT are still limited, right? So we don't know when are those times that the volume of orders will exceed the amount of the supply or the liquidity pool. So I suggest, if you're not in a hurry, you can trade it in big exchanges like Binance and Coinbase, and then put it back in Stepn. However, again, please note, Solana congestion is always happening randomly. So just make a planning of what you need to do, where will you use, when will you trade, taking into consideration not just the slippage, but the network congestion. Number 3, you need to check news or at least the graph. I use CoinMarketCap to check if there's big fluctuations of coins. You can set it into 24 hours or days. So just to check if there's a big fluctuation of coins before you transact. So number 4 for me, I prefer to put a slippage tolerance just in case, you know, I have no time to check the market or news or CoinMarketCap. At least I have a small buffer of how much I can lose if I transact this much. For me, I'm not that worried because I'm not transacting that much. But if you are doing volumes and thousands of tokens, then it will be a big consideration for you to put a slippage tolerance. So that's pretty much it, guys. Before we end, just a quick shout out to some of the people who made some comments on our other videos. Hello to Personal Finance Guide. Hi to Antipas Tang. Hi to Mix Stadka. And those on those yellow bar are our frequent subscribers and commenters. Please, guys, if you're finding value in this video, please don't forget to subscribe, share, hit that like button. It really helps on the algorithm of my videos. And as usual, those who are still looking for authentication codes, you can join our Facebook group called Stepn Global. We posted there things that we cannot post here in YouTube, authentication codes we post there. If you have queries, you can also post there. You can contact me at Twitter. My handle is @KikaPGames. Thank you so much, guys. Let's go and walk.